Hi, I'm Greg Grubbs. This is my short and very unofficial intro to Konvoy, a distribution for Kubernetes. Let's start by what you'll need to have to run it yourself and check out its goodness. First, you are going to need Docker, and that will be running on your workstation or your laptop or your cloud console. Then you'll need not all of Kubernetes, just the command, kube control, kubectl, kubectl. And then finally, the AWS, Amazon Web Services command line interface, and of course, your AWS account. First, you will register for the Konvoy trial. That's simply a matter of visiting day2iq, d2iq.com, solutions, KSphere, Konvoy, and requesting the free trial. Once you do that, you'll get something to install, and that will be a binary that you unarchive, and then you'll move to the newly created directory and type Konvoy init. The very first time you invoke Konvoy, it takes a while because it downloads a Docker image and creates your cluster definition in a small file called cluster.yaml. You can edit that to your liking, changing, for instance, the cluster name, adding instance tags that you might want, and adjusting the number of worker nodes, for instance. Feel free to look through that file that shows all the various add-ons that the Konvoy distribution includes. And then when you're ready to get it up and running, you simply type Konvoy up. I added the optional parameter yes, so that it won't even ask you if you're really sure you want to do this. And that's all there is to it. And now we wait. And we are back. We did the Konvoy up, yes, and it did indeed take about 15 minutes, and scrolled through very, very many lines of output, coming at the very end to the happy message that our Kubernetes cluster is up and all the add-ons were deployed successfully. Here's a list of the add-ons that it includes out of the box. All of these are swappable, but it's very nice to have all of them configured and ready to go from the very beginning. So what we're going to do is immediately go and check out that cluster that it created, and we'll do that by bringing up this URL and launch the console. I feel it's fairly safe to have this logon information here because although this username may be reproduced at some point, this password is highly unlikely to ever be reproduced again. So we'll log in, and this is the control center for Konvoy, a Kubernetes distribution of all open source components. We'll see that any of the components that have a web UI have a dashboard link. So let's start out with the Kubernetes. And anyone who's familiar with Apache Kubernetes is familiar with this dashboard. A number of namespaces have already been created and services deployed and so forth. Now the services that the Konvoy distribution includes range all the way from low-level components for networking like level 3, level 4, level 7 networking and core DNS, ingress and load balancing, all the way up to higher level things like log delivery, logging, filtering, and sophisticated dashboards shown in Grafana. So let's take a quick look at a couple of those. Kibana shows what's happening with your logs and allows you to explore them and discover what's going on. It allows you to visualize what's happening with the logs. It allows you to do searching for something like, let's look at namespaces, see what which log entries include Valero namespaces, and allows you to quickly monitor that. So more detail in another screencast. And then Grafana is especially wonderful for all of its very interactive monitoring and visualizations of what's going on throughout the cluster in various subsystems of the cluster. So you can, of course, create your own dashboards, but Konvoy comes pre-configured with a whole slew of interesting dashboards that we think many customers will want to use. So for instance, you're looking at an overall cluster, or you're looking at the actions of core DNS, which is one of the networking components, or of Calico, another networking component, etc. And as you add applications and microservices to your Kubernetes cluster, for instance, installing Cassandra, Kafka, MySQL, Jupyter, Spark, any of those things, possibly using Apache Kudo for declarative operators, which is a purely open source operator project that D2IQ also sponsors, then you can add dashboards for those specific systems. So that is all we have for our very brief initial intro to the Konvoy Kubernetes distribution. I look forward to digging more deeply in future videos. Thank you.